It's time for Tiger Talk, presented by Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. Old Chicago, amazing craft beers and food, north of I-70 in Hayes. Old Chicago, share, reconnect, celebrate. Tiger Talk is also brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, providing the best in-home loans to the Tiger community since 1920. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, part of the University of Kansas Health System, and the official physicians for Fort Hays State University Athletics. The certified public accountants of Adams, Brown, Barron, and Ball. Your trusted advisors, providing you with commitment, experience, and integrity. BTI, your John Deere dealer, with locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, Valley Hope of Norton. Get help and find hope. The Taco Shop. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. You've never had it so good. Horizon Appliance and Mattress. TVs, appliances, Traeger grills, and Tempur-Pedic bedding. Open 7 days a week at 1501 East 27th in Hayes. And Eagle Communications. Internet, TV, phone. Eagle Communications. Our community connected.
And a pleasant Monday to you. Welcome into Tiger Talk. Gerard Welbrock with you. We're at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. We recorded over the noon hour on Mondays. Old Chicago, it's your craft beer authority. They have 40 rotating draft beers, so stop by today. They're north of the interstate in Hayes. Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. It is indeed a happy Monday, always a happy Monday after a Tiger victory. Fort Hays State double overtime winners in Kearney, 29-26 to move to 6-2. Tied for second in the MIAA with Pittsburgh State, a game back of the Bearcats of Northwest Missouri State. And we bring in head coach Chris Brown. Congratulations. It was certainly a thriller, and we talked about it on the show last week, and all throughout the week it was going to be a battle. Kearney's really good. They showed they're really good, but it was a gritty, gutsy win by your squad Saturday.
It was. It was a tough game for us. We're not used to getting up that early in the morning to play an 11 o'clock football game, but like I said, we weren't going to make that an excuse. And Kearney's really improved. I mean, they do some things well offensively and defensively. They don't give up the big play and make you earn everything, and that's exactly what they did. We had a few mistakes offensively, and defensively, we missed a few tackles and gave up a couple big plays too. So, we eliminate those games. It's something different. Then we gave up the big kickoff return, and that really hurt us. At the very first of the game. So, but they're good. They're a good team, and they play physical and they play aggressive, and they did a good job of keeping us in check. And good thing we had a field goal kicker. Darius
Webb, their running back, he's hard to bring down. I mean, there's a lot of times you said you had a beat on him, but could not seem to make that tackle. Just a slippery guy. Unless you hit him hard, wrapped him up, and hit him solid, he didn't go down on first contact very often.
No, he doesn't, and he's very elusive. He can make that first guy miss pretty easy, and then the second guy always misses. Our guys had trouble. They had the angle on him, but he took it away somehow. But he's a tremendous football player. He's quick. He's got some good speed, but his elusiveness is tremendous. He's probably one of the best ones in the league that I've seen so far. We've got some really good backs in this league, but just the way he's able to stick and move and make guys miss, puts him at the top, in this league, I think.
But I thought on the road, it's been a struggle. And one of the road wins is at Missouri Southern. Obviously, they have had a rough go of it. But one of your better road performances, it wasn't perfect. You mentioned you made some mistakes, but you battled through those, which we were unable to do at Emporia and at Missouri Western.
Yeah, it was better. We didn't turn the ball over as much. I think we had one turnover, and that was it on offense, where, in the other games we had, I think, 3 against Western and 4 against Emporia. And, you can't do those things. But, our defense also got the ball back to us as well. But I thought we played better. I'm still not where we need to be. We're on the road. I just can't put my thumb on exactly what it is, because we did change some things this week. We changed roommates, where you could be, where you couldn't be, what you couldn't do. All these little different things that went into it. And, doing extra room checks to make sure guys are in their rooms and doing the things the right way. And, putting young guys with older guys just to kind of teach them how to prepare for a game as well. But I don't know what it is. I can't put my thumb on, but we are not very good on the road right now. But hopefully we got to find a way to change that here, the next couple of weeks. But, we won. And it was a good win. It was a gritty win. It was a hard-fought win, and, maybe that's something that we needed.
Yeah, well, a rather large road game coming up here in a couple of weeks. We'll talk more about that next Monday. Some milestones in the game. You mentioned the field goal kicker, Dante Brown, 5 field goals. Second time this year he's done that. That ties the single-game record at Fort Hays State. Jose Delgado had 10 more tackles. He's now the Fort Hays State's Division II era all-time leading tackler. In fact, when he got the record, it's probably saved a touchdown. It was a big play. And then you got your 55th win as head coach. And of all of those, that's the one you probably care least about, but now tied with Bob Cortez for the most in Fort Hays State history.
Yeah, and those other ones are more important to me. You know, Dante getting, I think Beebs even has a record now for punt return yards in a career. And, Jose getting the tackle record as well. And mine, it's group effort, coaching staff, players. I mean, that's what that all is about, and it's, just our kids doing the things we ask them to do and getting wins, and our coaching staff preparing our kids. And, it's nothing I've really done. It's just, I got the right group of guys that do things the right way. And when those things happen, you get wins. And, we'll see what happens from here. Still, I love being here in Hays and love doing the things that we're doing. But, wins come with good kids and kids that work hard and love the game of football, and your coaching staff doing the same thing. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's a group effort. It's a team effort. It's nothing I've really done.
Now, you mentioned Brown, 20 field goals now this year. That's the most in Division II, the most in a single season at Fort Hays State. And his next field goal attempt will be a new record for the most attempted in a single season for a Tiger. Fort Hays State wins it 29-26 at Nebraska Kearney. And 2 overtimes. We'll talk about the ball game and eventually look at this Saturday's game. The Lindenwood Lions come to town for what is now a really big game after the win on Saturday. We'll do that when we return. We're at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room, recorded over the noon hour on Mondays. And right now, Old Chicago having a Halloween mini tour. It goes through November 4th, and you can earn a cool glow-in-the-dark T-shirt. Check it out at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room, north of the interstate in Hays. We'll take our first break. More with head coach Chris Brown when we return right here on the Tigers Sports Network.
I'm Patty Stahl, broker-owner of Coldwell Banker Executive Realty. We want your dreams to become a reality. Coldwell Banker Executive Realty prides itself in putting you first.
The Tigers in Kearney territory, their opening drive. There's a handoff to Hazelton. They're going to run a reverse. Now the flea flicker and a pass downfield is going to be caught by Hazelton inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. It'll be a 1st and goal. Some razzle-dazzle from the Tigers. Rakeem Hill saves a touchdown. That's going to be a gain of 32 yards. 1st and goal, make it a 33-yard gain at the 7-yard line. Yeah, that was Fort Hays State's first possession. Big play for the Tigers, their biggest play of the game as they go on to score and go on to win in double overtime against Nebraska Kearney. Welcome back into Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock, head coach Chris Brown. And that opening drive was a thing of beauty. And we talked last week, the Lopers don't give up many big plays. They had given up 18 plays all year of 20 or more yards, which I find remarkable. You had 2 of your 3 over 20 for the entire game on that possession, and that one went for 33, a little reverse flea flicker pass and a big play setting up your first touchdown. Hickman had a big 20-plus yard run, but those were the few big plays you could get in this one. And as you said, Kearney so good at not allowing big plays, and they were right on point after that possession.
They were, and that's just the way they play. Keep everything in front, make you earn everything, and that's exactly what they do. And they bend a little bit, but they don't break. I mean, they're a very good football team, and we had to find a way to spark our offense a little bit and get some big plays on them, and that play so happened to do it for us.
You used the Wildcat a lot again this week, more in the running formation, and it got you a touchdown in the ball game. But that's obviously become a more prominent part of the offense here in the last 2 games.
It is, especially with short yardage things. I mean, there's so many different things you can do with Harley back there. You can throw it, you can run it, and that kind of keeps the defense off balance and know exactly what's the kid going to do. So. We got to continue using it. We we need to keep building off of it as well and add a few things here and there to it. But you don't want to get too much into it because now he's playing receiver, he's playing quarterback. I mean, you put too much on a kid's plate, sometimes they get confused and forget what they're actually supposed to be doing. But we got to do enough to keep him in the game and keep putting the ball in his hands.
He got out to the 7-0 lead. Great start. Unfortunately, it was short-lived, and I blame Dustin because in the pregame, talking about the contest and kind of our keys, and one of them was everybody play like special teams because the special teams had been really good this year. You mentioned Bieberly, school record for punt return yards. You'd really done a good job, and lo and behold, first special teams play, they go 98 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, Dustin always seems to ruin it for everybody, doesn't he? But,
He does.
But we'll get him lined out one of these days. But, yeah, that's one of those things, guys just got to keep contained. Our guys, a couple guys bounced inside because they thought they were running on the sideline, but you still got to do your job, run your lanes, make sure the ball's for sure in that area. And, we cheated a little bit, and he saw it, and he's fast enough to see the seam. He got to the edge and got to the end zone. So, just a couple guys not doing their job, and you don't do your job, bad things happen.
Well, they returned at 98 yards, tied the game at 7. You had a chance a little bit later in that quarter to take the lead. Lane Bieberly, we talked about the special teams. He had a 41-yard return, really nice return, got the ball in their territory. Unfortunately, you came up empty. Jacob threw the interception at the 2-yard line. Looked like maybe just tried to force that one and do a little bit too much on that play.
Yeah, just a little bit, but still as a receiver, you got to become a defender now and go make sure that, we either knock the ball out or we go catch the ball, one or the other. So, it goes hand in hand. Every time you see a bad thing happen, it's always gets blamed on the quarterback.
Right,
but,
yeah.
There's still things that your receivers can do to make sure they don't intercept the ball. You actually got to become the defender sometimes. But, it happens, and, we're just going for the big play, see if we can get something on them, and, it end up in their favor and not ours.
It's amazing. He has thrown 6 picks this year. 5 of them have been on the road, and all 5 have been in the red zone. So it's unfortunate, and a lot of them on possessions that started inside the opponent's territory. It's one of those freak deals, but it's just kind of interesting how that has been a problem for him this season.
Yeah, it has, games early, it really, like that one was Jake's fault. But early in the season, it was, guys not running the right routes. Guys putting guys in a position where they're not supposed to be, and guys getting picks because, the corner wasn't supposed to be there because he's supposed to be man on you, but you ran your wrong route. But, that one probably shouldn't have been thrown. Just throw it away, live another down and keep playing on. But, yeah, it's unfortunate that it's always happening in the red zone, and, we got to find ways to get it in the end zone instead of turning it over, kicking field goals.
Well, still a 7-all tie at that point in the ball game. Fort Hays State in a dogfight, which they knew they would be at Nebraska Kearney. We're going to go ahead and take another break, and we'll chat more about the rest of that first half, and then what turned out to be a wild finish down the stretch at Cope Stadium at Foster Field. Tiger Talk recorded at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room over the noon hour, and you can order online at oldchicago.com. It makes your to-go orders a breeze. Old Chicago, your craft beer authority north of the interstate in Hays. We will take another break and be back with more right here on the Tiger Sports Network.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here!
It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
Zara slaps his hands. This time he'll line up to the right of Hazlett. Hazlett fakes a move to the left or to the right, rolls to the left. Touchdown, Fort Hays State. 4-yard touchdown run by Harley Hazlett out of the Wildcat. He faked the move to the right, and then the left lane opened up, and the Tigers are an extra point away from tying it with 13-12 to go in the game. That was a big drive. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on, but Harley getting into the end zone with the Wildcat package. That was a pretty nifty play, kind of fake right, fake a toss, and then that lane, Carney bid on it, opened wide up for him. That was probably about as easy as a run as he had all day.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a big hole. There wasn't much, there defensively, for them, and he easily walked in, and it's something we've worked on a lot in practice, and faking a little toss play to your quarterback, which I wouldn't buy it on.
Probably wasn't going to take
but it worked out in our favor, and we got that touchdown to tie it up.
Well, that was later in the game. It was 7-7, and kind of a key swing.
Yeah.
There was a sack ruled, not a fumble.
Yep.
And looking back, I mean, that's the call is what it is. It's unfortunate. It looked like it was clearly a fumble. And then they put together an impressive drive. Really, the one really long drive till late in the game. 12 plays, 80 yards, but a key play there, 4th and 1. And I'm not sure they were going to punt or not, but they kept the offense out there or run a play. And you guys bid on a hard count, kept the drive alive, and they went on to score because of it.
Yeah, and that's something that you can't do. I mean, it's 4th and 1. They're going to give you a hard snap count. They're going to go on 2, 3. They're just going to try to get you to jump, and that's just being that disciplined part of it and being locked into the game and understanding the situation. And unfortunate for us, we did, and we jumped off sides and they got the first down. They ended up going down and scoring. So, it's stupid little things, and it's just something that, we got to start eliminating on this team is, being undisciplined and doing things the right way and being, focused and prepared, in every situation. And that's just something this team lacks right now.
I thought a big answer, though, right before the end of the half, it's 14-7, and knowing they get the football, and you've talked about it, how hard they are to stop with just all the things that they do, but you put together a pretty good drive and go all the way down the field. I think it was 13 plays, or not quite 13, but you were able to drive a 12-play, 64-yard drive, and got a field goal right there at the end. Obviously, you'd love to get a touchdown, but you got points. You cut it to 4. You felt you had a little bit of momentum, and you kind of survived a stretch where Kearney had control of that football game.
Yeah, that was huge for us. A lot of our kids wanted to go for it on that fourth down, but as a coach, you got to ignore what they're saying and what they're thinking. You don't ignore it, but and you're tempted to do those things. But we needed the points for sure. Any way you can get points on the board, let's get it. We don't get it there. I mean, they got a lot of momentum coming out after the half, and so had to kick it. And when we got a kicker like Dante, you might as well you take advantage of his leg and get points on the board because those things are going to be important later on in the game. So, and that's what we did.
Yeah, and you got it down to the 9. And is that strictly, is there a lot of conversation between you and the coaches about what you're going to do in those situations? Or had you kind of had it in your head that, hey, we're going to take the points regardless of what happens here?
Yeah, there's some conversation going on, but when it's all said and done, I got to make a decision on what to do because it's going to be on me and nobody else. So I thought we need to take the points, get the points now, and there was a lot of players wanting to go for it, a couple of coaches as well wanting to go for it, but when it was all said and done, we knew that was probably the right decision to make.
You got the points. It's 14-10. They get the ball. They drive down, and I thought big, you held them to a field goal. I think they moved it down close to the 10-yard line. They got a touchdown there. Now it starts to get a little dicey in the game, but you hold them to 3, only down a touchdown after that first possession.
Yeah, that's huge. They get the ball right after half, and, we got to find a way to we were hoping 3 and out, and get the ball back, but they went down, got some points on the board, but at least it's still just a one possession game now instead of 2. So, our defense did a good job of it. It's a hard offense to stop. They do a great job running the option and adding some play action into it as well. And it's I'm pretty pleased with the way our defense played. Just a few missed tackles here and there, and it just happens when you play that against that type of offense.
McGinnis had some big plays, their quarterback, but boy, you hit him. He felt this game. You did get a lot of pressure on him and a lot of contact on the quarterback.
Yeah, we did. And especially in the passing situations where you could tell he was a little happy foot, had happy feet and was wanting to get out of there. But you got to hit the quarterback, and then that's just the way it is. You got to make them feel uncomfortable the whole time, and then when they start running the ball, it's kind of the same way. They don't want to get hit as much, so they don't get those extra yards. But he's a tough kid. I mean, he plays the game physical anyway, and he's used to taking some shots, because he runs so much. But I thought our D-line did a good job of getting some pressure on him in certain situations.
Reminded me a lot of his older brother in Washburn.
Yep.
They're two tough guys, and certainly showed it. The big drive before halftime, but I thought maybe the drive of the game for you was right after they get that field goal. You put together a 13-play, 83-yard drive, almost 5 minutes, your longest scoring drive of the season. And we heard that highlight. Harley capped it with a 4-yard run. I think he had a big catch in there to help set it up, but that was a huge answer to move it down the field and then eventually tie the football game.
Yeah, and we had to. That's just it. That one is at that point in the game where you had to get some points on the board and make some things happen. And if we couldn't set up for a field goal at that time, it's late enough in the game. We need to start getting some things going and score some points and get some momentum on our side. And it was a long drive, and he had some good plays in that game as well, and in that drive as well. And I think there was a few other guys that did some good things too. And Hickman ran pretty well for us in the game too. And I don't know, man. We just got to find ways to keep getting more points on the board and quit making it so stressful. And I told the boys after the game and said, "You guys are balding me and getting me gray hair, so we got to change some things up around here."
Well, that was a big drive, and it ate up the third quarter clock and early into the fourth quarter, and the game was tied. You mentioned DJ. He had 24 carries. That was a season high, 111 yards, and hadn't really seen him in space a lot this year, but he was able a few times to get out there, and that was good to see. He keeps getting better each and every week.
Yeah, and the more comfortable. He's going to get more comfortable every week, because he's still trying to learn our offense and exactly what we're doing, the blocking schemes and all those things and how they work. But, he's got some decent little speed. He's got some little shiftiness to him as well, and we just got to work on that burst, after the cut, and I think that's one thing he really lacks right now. But he's done a good job for us, and we're going to continue to use him and just kind of see where he goes from there.
And Tigner coming in gave you some hard yards like he has, a good hard runner, and very complimentary, those two.
Yeah, they are. DJ's kind of more your scat back, finding a little hole and getting it. Tigner's going to get downhill and try to run through you, and you need guys like that to help you out, and win ball games. And two different type. One's physical and downhill, and the other one's kind of a shifty guy. So, use them both. Use Tigner in certain situations, and then use Hickman in the others.
They fumble the next possession. You get the ball back, 12-20 to go in the game. You bring in Chance Fuller, and I know it's probably his rotation. Any thought of leaving Jacob in there just for the game situation, or do you fear that's just a good opportunity for him to try to learn from?
We have it set when Chance is going to come in, and we don't want to kind of mess up that rotation and getting him some reps. So just kind of go with the way it is. We've talked about that as a staff this week as well. But we got to get Chance some reps and get him ready for next year as well. And if something does happen to Jake, right down here down the road here, Chance has got to be ready. So he can get it done. He's a great player. He sees things very well. He's throws the ball well. He sees things well, and we got to get him comfortable and get him ready.
Did not get a touchdown. In fact, didn't get much on that possession, but you got the first of several big-time kicks. 47-yarder from Dante going into the wind, and plenty of leg on that one. He obviously had a monster day, but that was a big-time kick for him to give you the lead back at 20-17.
That was huge, and that was a very stiff wind. I think we're probably talking 15-mile-an-hour wind, and it's 47 yards. It's a long kick into that wind, but he has the leg to do it, and if he's calling, you look at him in the eye, can you get this? He says, yeah, I got it, and he's got that confidence, so you might as well give him a chance to do it, because that might be the only chance you get to get points on the board, and so we gave him a shot, and he put it through.
They drive back, they get a big field goal from their freshman, tied it at 20, and then you come right back with an 8-play, 46-yard drive, and this one's a 46-yarder, pretty much the same kick, but sure enough, the wind kind of picks up a little bit right before the play as he comes onto the field, and he kicked it well, but that wind made it tough, but he got a little help there from the crossbar and crawled it across from 46, another big-time pressure kick.
Yeah, it was. That was a huge one for us because, he misses that. It's a short field for them to go, to end the game, and he got it through there. He did a good job of – he didn't hit it quite as good as he did the one before, but, he got just enough on it, and, 1 inch the other way, that ball's popping out, but – we got the 1 inch that we needed on the other side of the crossbar, and it went in for us. But huge play for us. Dante's a weapon. We got to use him, and he's doing great for us.
They come back and score. I know it's probably disappointing on the last play, and you nearly had him on 4th and 1. McGinnis slipped out of a tackle from Sterling Swope. Some controversial catch on the sideline. Was he in? Was he out? And I went and watched the video. It's really hard to tell from the angles. You guys had a good look, and you're pretty adamant he was out of bounds. But I guess that's the way it goes. They got a field goal, and they force overtime.
Yep, they did. They got the plays they needed to make, and, we didn't get the stops that we needed to. And, we had opportunities to make things happen and seal the win, and, we just didn't do it. So we got to buckle down and get a little bit tighter in those situations and get the job done. But at the end of the day, it still worked out for us, and we still have winning the game.
Yeah, Quill nearly had a pick in the end zone, would have ended it. But 20-20, 23 all Tigers, and the Lopers heading to overtime. We'll talk about the overtime when we come back. Tiger Talk recorded at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room over the noon hour on Mondays, and they invite you to join them for happy hour from 3 until 6 Monday through Friday at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. Serious craft brews, seriously good food. More from Old Chicago and Tiger Talk here on the Tiger Sports Network. Hi, everyone. This is Gerard Wellbrock inviting you to join us for Tiger Talk. We record it over the noon hours Mondays at Old Chicago, north of the interstate in Hayes, and play back at 6 o'clock Monday nights on Tiger Radio Mix 103. You can also catch it on Eagle TV's Channel 14 and 614, Tuesday and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m., and always on HaysPost.com. So join us for Tiger Talk over the noon hour Mondays at Old Chicago. Dante Brown, 2 field goals today, 17 on the season, a new Tiger record. There's the snap, there's the kick. Does he have enough? He just gets it through, and it is good. It hit the crossbar and went through, and the Tigers have the lead with 42 seconds to play. He just had enough. Yeah, he just got it through. That gave the Tigers the lead. Lopers would tie it, and we go to overtime in Kearney. Welcome back to Old Chicago and Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock, head coach Chris Brown. What was that's in a way demoralizing. Thought you had it won. They come down and score. Feels like they have the momentum. And then they win the coin toss, and you had the ball first. Emotionally on the road, that had to be a bit of a challenge.
It is, and it's just staying focused, staying locked in, not worrying about the situation, just going and get your job done. And, our kids did that. Went into 2 overtimes, though, we had chances to end that game with the pick in the end zone at the end. And, we just didn't get it done. But, towards the end, we kick a field goal. Our defense holds them. They kick a field goal. And then finally we get to play defense, and we stop them, and they miss it. Then we get, ended with Dante making it. So, it was crazy, but it was a hard-fought win on the road against a very good Kearney team, and, I'm just glad we came away with the win.
You got 6 yards on your first play and then really couldn't do much after and had to settle for the field goal. They get 7, and then you did a good job. Incomplete pass and then a stop for no gain, forced them into that game-tying field goal. That was obviously a big stand on defense, knowing you had to either get a turnover or hold them to 3 or you're going to lose.
Yep, that was huge for us, and then especially when they got that big, tall wide receiver out there that played basketball. I just knew they were going to throw it up to him, and he's going to end the game somehow because he's a great athlete. He's a big kid, and he jumps very well. But our defense stepped up, got the job done, and made him kick a field goal. And and then it's always better to be on defense first than it is second. So I thought I was proud of our guys and the things they did, and it is what it is. It's history now, and I'm glad that one's over.
Well, and you do. You with the overtime, you force the second, so it flips. They get the ball first, and I thought you set the tone. A couple of negative plays, forced them into a tough field goal, and a really good freshman kicker, but he just kept it right and missed it by about a foot, and you got the first real big break, and then knowing that with Dante there, a pretty good chance to win it, and a heavy dose of DJ Hickman all on the ground, got you first down, and pretty much made that a chip shot, and boy, Dante right down the middle.
Right down the middle, and it's one of those situations like, man, do we just kick it now right when we get the ball? Because, he's been so good, but, we want to get a little bit closer because you always – you've seen it happen before, and a guy fumbles the ball, and now we go into another overtime, and, our guys just – I told him 2 hands on the ball. 2 hands on the ball. Don't ever take 2 hands off the ball because we're going to try to strip it out of there. And, DJ did a good job of getting first downs and getting him, in an easier situation to kick a field goal. And, Dante put it through, which, he's been pretty good for us all year long.
You kicked on third down. I thought, some folks maybe don't catch that, but obviously something happens, bad snap, whatever. You got a chance to cover it up and get another try on fourth down.
Yeah, we did. That was the whole key. I was trying to yell at Jay because I didn't want to use a timeout just in case, and he's not hearing me. Then they called timeout. I was like, "Hey, Jay, I was screaming at you because I know, Coach, if it was a bad snap, I just need to fall on." I was like, "Okay, at least you're smart enough to figure that out." So, and he did. He knew what he was supposed to do. But yeah, it was a good snap, good hold, and they brought a lot of pressure from that one side. But it seems like every time in that situation, there's going to be a lot of pressure. Coming to get after it, and we got the kick through. Good snap, good hold, pretty good protection, and Dante put it through.
Put it through. Tigers win it in double overtime, 29-26. You're now 2-1 in overtime games. You'd lost in Washburn, had that crazy win in Bolivar on a bad weather day at Southwest Baptist, but. Do you like the college overtime rule the way they do it? It seems to be pretty fair, and haven't heard too many people complain about it.
Yeah, I do. I just hate overtimes.
Well,
they're too stressful. But yeah, I do like how it's set up. And the third overtime, you got to go for 2. I just think it hopefully helps shorten the game a little bit than anything else. But yeah, I do like it.
Better than tying, I guess.
Yeah, it is. I'll take that over a tie any day.
Tigers win it on Saturday up at Cope Stadium. Foster Field beat the Lopers by a 29-26 margin. They're now 6-2 and gearing up for a big home game this Saturday afternoon against the Lindenwood Lions. Tiger Talk recorded at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room over the noon hour on Mondays. And be sure to check out their late night specials every day starting at only $3. Old Chicago, your pizza and craft beer authority. We will take our final break. We will preview Lindenwood, who the Tigers will host this Saturday afternoon, and we'll do it after this break on the Tigers Sports Network.
As you plan for your business in 2018, advertising should be an important part of your growth strategy. Digital marketing puts your business in front of the right customers online. Advertising with the Hays Post ensures your message will be viewed 1.5 million times a month, including 375,000 unique views a week. Are you ready to grow your business? Advertise with us today. It's affordable and it works. Call us today at 785-628-0467. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Wyatt Parker, the long snapper. Andrew J., the holder. Dante Brown lines it up, now takes 3 steps to his left. This to give the Tigers the win. There's the snap a little bit low. The hold is down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Fort Hays State wins it in 2 overtimes. Dante Brown with a 26-yard field goal, and Fort Hays State wins in Kearney.
Yes, indeed. The Tigers win, now 6-2, and getting set for another home game this Saturday afternoon against Lindenwood. Welcome back to Old Chicago and Tiger Talk here on a Monday along the Tiger Sports Network. Lindenwood comes to town this Saturday. They're 3-5 and kind of a weird team in the sense they have not won a home game this year. And all 3 of their wins, 3 of their 4 road games, they have won. And I kind of throw the one loss out. It was up at Kearney, and obviously we know how good the Lopers are. And it was 11 a.m. That's a long trip from them. And then it was just a couple of days after it was announced they're leaving the MIAA for the GLVC. And we've heard grumblings the football program wasn't real happy about that move because they want to be in the MIAA. So I think there was a lot of factors that went into that one. But they've been a really, really good road team. And it's a little scary because they're coming to Hays.
It is. They are. They're a good team. Even when you see them at home, they took Pitt to overtime, and they played Northwest, who's a very good football team as well, and that wasn't a blowout by any means, and they're a good football team. Every team in this conference is very, very talented, and you have to prepare for every single game like it's it's a playoff game, and they're a good team, and they play well on the road. Hopefully this is a long trip. It's like the long trip they had to Kearney, and it wears them out a little bit, and maybe I should talk to Curtis, see if we can change it to 11 a.m. as well, but I don't think he'll do that. But, they're a good football team. They got a good quarterback. We recruited him out of high school as well, and because we had his brother on our team, and the running backs are good. O-line's good. The defense is got some very good secondary guys. That big up front on the D-line, and their linebackers run very well. So, they're well coached, and again, I think they're better than they were last year, and they're a good football team, and we got to have a great week of practice, or it is going to be a battle. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's going to be a good battle. It's going to be a good football game.
Yeah, won by 3 at their place a year ago, and that was a back and forth and everything you had to find a way to escape with that win.
Yep, and they're the same team this year. Maybe even just a little bit better than they were last year. So it's going to be a game that we got to do some things offensively to get our run game going and get some big plays on them, and then defensively, there's a lot of weapons out there that we have to defend, and we just can't give up the big play and hopefully get some turnovers, on defense and get the ball back to our offense.
They lost 38-17 to Northwest on Saturday. It was a 10-7 game late in the second, and then it went in the locker room down 24-7, so it kind of got away from them in the final 3 or 4 minutes of that second quarter, and then a pretty even second half after that. Just kind of shows you a lot like we saw from Kearney against Northwest. A little stretch of the game where the Bearcats got their separation. Other than that, for about 3 quarters, played toe-to-toe with them.
Yeah, they did. And when you watch the film too, it's Northwest got a lot of short fields to go score points on, and when you give a team short field, it's easier to do that. They're one of those teams that's going to make you earn everything as well, and they're going to keep everything in front and make you earn everything. And we just got to be ready. We just got to do our job, do our assignment, get better this week. As an offense and a defense and on special teams, and make ourselves better as players. If we can do that, make ourselves better as players, we're going to make our team better. And hopefully our kids lock in this week and get focused because, we have to go 3-0 now. That's the whole thing. Go 3-0. We can win the conference and get into the playoffs. So, our backs are still against the wall, and we still got to make some things happen.
They're third in the MIAA in scoring at 31 a game. You look at all the teams and some of the offenses. You don't expect them to be there, but they find a way to put points on the board.
They do. They get some big plays. They got some good running backs. The quarterback does a good job of scrambling and buying time and throwing the ball downfield, to open receivers. And they're a good football team. They got some weapons offensively, and they're going to spread the ball around and keep you on your toes. So. Our defense has got their hands cut out for them, or got their work cut out for them this week.
And their hands will be full, too.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. Final meeting between these two, unless, somehow in the playoffs, but we kind of touched on it. They are leaving the MIAA, going to the GLVC. I'm sure most coaches aren't going to miss that long drive to St. Charles, but obviously NAIA power, and it's kind of taken them a while, but I think they finally got the right coach, the right fit, and you can just see them improving each and every time out. And you've done a pretty good job against these guys, although they've been tight games. It would be nice to send them out with a win for Fort Hays State and not let them get that win in their final meeting in Hays.
Yeah, that'd be great. You know, Judge Stuger does a great job getting those kids prepared and ready to play. I mean, he's fiery. He's a good discipline and coaches those kids very well. And they'll be ready to play when they get here. But we need to send them out. Out of the MIAA with a win on our side and not theirs. And they're a good football team. And it's going to be a test for us, and it's going to be a really, really good test to kind of see where we're at still. And hopefully our kids are up for the challenge, and our kids know their backs are against the wall, and they have to go play their best game this week. That's just the way it is.
Well, so far they've answered the call twice now in this must-win situation. Hopefully they can make it number 3. And we touched on it a little bit. Big game, obviously, in Maryville in a couple of weeks. You worry about them looking ahead. I mean, it seems like with what's at hand, they won't do that, and they haven't done that up to this point. But is that something you got to emphasize and re-emphasize this week to stay focused at the task at hand this week?
Yeah, we got team meeting today at 2:30, and we'll make sure they understand that this is the most important game. You got to take care of business now. It's not next week's game; it's this week right now. And this is a very good team we're getting ready to play. And you take them lightly, they're going to beat you, and then we're done. I mean, our season's pretty much basically over, but except for maybe a bowl game, and we don't want to. Bowl games are fun, but playoffs are a lot better because you got a chance to go win a national championship. But we can't look past them, and we'll make sure our kids understand that today.
All right, sounds good, Coach. As always, we appreciate the time. Have a great week of practice. Can't wait till Saturday afternoon.
Thanks, Gerard.
There you go, head coach Chris Brown. Again, the Tigers taking on Lindenwood this Saturday. Hey, you can catch the video replay of Tiger Talk on Tuesday and Wednesdays, 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. It's on Eagle Cable Channel 14 and 614. And, of course, you can always watch it online at HaysPost.com. Just hover over that Eagle TV icon on the top left and then click on Tiger Talk. Tiger Talk is presented by Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. They're your craft beer authority. Old Chicago, north of the interstate in Hays. Serious craft brews, seriously good food. It's also brought to you in part by our Tiger Premier sponsors, the Hays Med Orthopedic Institute, part of the University of Kansas Health System, Taco Shop, Adams Brown, Barron and Ball, Golden Bell Bank of Hays and Ellis, BTI, Horizon Appliance and Mattress, Valley Hope of Norton, and Eagle Communications. And again, a big thank you to Old Chicago for hosting us again today. We'll be back here next Monday over the noon hour, so make your plans to come out and join us for Tiger Talk. Hope to see you at the stadium on Saturday, 2 o'clock kick. Fort Hays State, Lindenwood will be on the air at 1 with the Auto World pregame show. So until then, for head coach Chris Brown, this is Gerard Welbrock. We appreciate you joining us. We'll talk to you next Monday right here on Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayspost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, Real Country. 99 KZ Country.